What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Redline podcast. And today is a special episode because this is done live, which is very epic. And we're here with CruzinMoto. Say hello.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
I'm doing great. So, a reoccurring segment we have is 5 rapid questions. When I will ask you 5 questions and you will answer them as quickly as you can.
Ooh, all right.
Are you ready?
I am ready as I ever will be.
That's the spirit. All right, first question. Best
Okay.
fast food place?
In and out.
Always too hot outside or always raining?
Always too hot.
Never riding again or never seeing another movie?
Never seeing another movie.
What's the worst thing about motorcycles?
Having to spend all the money on upgrading.
And lastly, what's the worst thing about California?
Oh, all the snowbirds that come here from other states.
Very well done. You did terrific, man. That was the speed. All right, so now we got past the speedy questions, and now we will go into just some chill questions. Question number 1 is, how long have you been doing YouTube and what got you into it?
I've been doing YouTube, not just say like motovlogging in particular, but just YouTube in general. I've been doing for about 8 years. I started off doing YouTube when I used to play airsoft a lot.
Oh.
So I did that for about 5 years, doing that. I had a pretty good YouTube channel that had a pretty large following, bigger than what I have for my channel now. We actually had a really popular airsoft team here in the United States. We were sponsored by like the biggest companies for airsoft and everything. We'd get all kinds of stuff for free, go to events all over the place and everything. So it was real fun doing that. And then about 3 years ago, I got into the motovlogging thing and stuff. And so I've been doing that ever since then.
What made you kind of stop the airsoft stuff overall?
The airsoft stuff, it kind of just stopped because a bunch of me and my buddies, we just kind of life just kind of happened. You know, things were just going on in life, and that just kind of took over. Like some of us got new jobs where it required more of our time and all that stuff like that. And then there's some stuff that went on with me and the buddies because I was kind of the leader of the team and kind of like the face of the team stuff. So I was the one always doing all the video editing, making all the videos, dealing with the sponsors and stuff. And there's like 2 guys that kind of got a little butthurt about it, that they would get no screen time and stuff. But I've always told them that they could. You know, I was like, it's not a problem. If you want to do this on the Facebook page or upload videos, do stuff, you're more than welcome to. Here's the passwords and everything, you know, do whatever you want, you know. But they never did nothing. They just wanted to complain and make it look like I was taking money and stuff. That's what it was. We would get money like the YouTube revenue and stuff.
Yeah.
But every time all the money we got was for us, our trips to pay for gas and food and stuff. And they knew it because I would get the money and like, hey, there's our YouTube profits, you know, for all 5 of us, you know, to go out and have food and whatever we want to do, you know, and stuff. But they thought one dude thought I was taking the money, and it was just him having issues.
Oh, yeah.
Really, all it was.
So you kind of split it apart slowly.
Yeah, he kind of just made things happen, and everyone. I was like, you know what, fine. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm done. Peace out. You know.
And then you started motorcycling.
Yeah, then I started doing the motorcycling stuff after.
So kind of leading into that, how long have you been riding?
Total, I've been riding for about 15 years. My whole life. I started out on like quads when I was real young.
Yeah.
And stuff, and dirt bikes when I lived in Washington State. And then once I moved here to California, I kind of, you know, I wasn't doing it anymore. And after I went into the military, all that stuff just stopped riding for a long time. So I kind of got back into riding, was about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
I got back into riding again. So I bought a little bike, a little 250 Nighthawk. It was a cool little bike. And then I got one of those. Yeah, I got one of those, played around on that for about 8 months, sold it, got a Kawasaki Ninja. And then I rode around on that for a year, sold that thing. And then I went to a Yamaha R6, crashed that within 3 months, but that wasn't really particularly my fault all the way, but it kind of was too a little bit. I'll take some blame for it, but
Yeah, we already have. I've already wrote down a community question just about that, so don't you worry.
yeah.
It's already shown up.
Right. But yeah, so I had that crash, and then after 5 months, I recovered, and then I went out and bought the FZ07 that I had. I had that for 3 years,
That's a fun
and then
bike.
I traded that in about a few months ago, and I got my MT09.
Yeah,
And I don't think I'm going to trade that bike in ever. I'm going to keep that thing. I don't
yeah.
need any more bike than what that is. That's a whole lot of bike right there.
That's a classic that
It's
you're
fun,
saying
though.
right now. But then,
Yeah, it's super fun. Yeah, I say that now.
Yeah.
It could be 5 years down the line. Oh, let's go get a 1,000cc bike.
You know what? I think I need a little bit more.
It's close enough. I'm all right.
Yeah. So, leading into a question that I always ask, and because you're live, you can't use editing magic to make it look like you came up with it on the spot. You seem like you have a lot of stories to tell from what I noticed on your channel. What is a funny, weird, or maybe stupid story that you can share? And it doesn't have to be motorcycle related at all.
Oh, like okay, so not like really story wise, but I have a whole series about my stepson
Oh yeah, I
on
know.
my
Yeah.
channel. So that's probably I'd say probably like the weird stuff,
Yeah.
anything on there, because my stepson just drove me crazy and put me through hell basically. And just one day I decided I was like, you know what, I'm gonna vent on this camera and just tell my story about these things I'm going through as a stepfather and stuff, you know. And it just kind of took off. It did pretty well. It did really good. I had especially the very first video that I put up of him skipping school. I think that was the first one, or there's a couple down the road from that one, but that one went viral.
Yeah, I think it's like 300,000. Yeah.
300,000 views or something like that. Yeah, and then so that just went off, and then all the other stuff and he made having content so easy for that whole series.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff because he was just constantly doing stupid, crazy things and everything, you know. So he just made it really easy. Like he hasn't done anything stupid for me to make anything else. I told him because he's like, stop making videos about me. I was like, stop giving me reasons to.
You know? Stop being stupid, man.
Yeah, stop being dumb, and I won't make no video. You know, and so he hasn't done anything in quite some time and stuff. So I'm like, so I don't have anything going on with that. People are always asking me, when's the next stepson update? What's going on? I did one probably about 3-4 months ago. Yeah. When I was out riding my dirt bike about how he was in jail for about 6 months to clear up all the stupid stuff he'd done and everything. That was about the last one. But other than that, he's been good. After that, so if anyone's looking for an update right now, he's actually doing all right. He's got a clear slate to start off again.
That's good, you know, man.
Nothing on there on his record. So he hasn't done nothing stupid lately. So cops ain't bothering him.
You're like, you know, I know that's good and all, but I kind of need the content.
Come on, do something. Yeah, because with him, it's a matter of time before he does something stupid. So I'm just waiting.
With your camera,
unless he actually, unless he really has changed his ways, then I won't get nothing, which is cool. It's completely okay.
W. Danberg asked, what went wrong during the CruzinMoto crash? And I think we know which one he means.
Yeah. I only had the one. Are you talking about the one of the dirt bike one?
Yeah. Where I was just, I don't think he's talking about that one.
that one was funny. But no, the one where I crashed my R6. So we were here in town where I was. Me and a buddy were going to go out riding. It wasn't very windy down here, but we were riding up towards a dam that's about 45 minutes from here. Yeah. And by the time we got there, it was super gusty out, like really bad gusts, probably 30, 40 mile an hour gusts and stuff like that. And we live in a valley out here where the wind gets crazy out here. I mean, like winds can be like a steady 20, 30 miles an hour and then have 50 mile an hour gusts. It flips over semi trucks and stuff out here.
Damn.
On the highway and stuff like that. It gets pretty bad sometimes. So we're out there and I'm like, you know what? While we're out here, I'm just going to do the speed limit. I'm not going to try to go fast or anything like that. I'm just going to take it easy. That way we can still have fun and stuff. So we're going down that road that everyone has seen in the video. And I'm doing the speed limit. I'm doing 55 miles an hour the whole time through it, but my buddy's hauling butt, you know, ahead of me. I'm just like, I don't know why you're doing that, because I always make sure I ride safe.
Yeah.
in some sort of way, especially if it's windy.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go faster because it doesn't make things easier, So I was just going, and right when I came, and I've been down this road, so everyone knows I've been down this road many, 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 many times, riding through it, going like 90 miles an hour around the same corner, not a problem.
Yeah.
And that's on a day it's not windy, no nothing. So it was just that day I was going, and I don't know if I just went into the turn wrong as I was going, but at the same time, a big gust of wind, because there was like a hill to the right side of me, and for some reason, people think that the wind just comes one direction and stuff. Like when it gets into like little ravines, like kind of that area,
Yeah.
wind will bounce off things and swirl around and still move people,
Yeah.
and stuff. So I kind of went in there, and a gust of wind pushed me. And as I started correcting, I made the big no move and hit my front brake, so it stood the bike straight back
Ooh.
up. And that's what kind of led me towards that truck. And ultimately, my hand hitting the back end of the truck is what happened. Now, the only thing, the reason, like, now, there's this panel, this metal panel that was on the back end of the truck that went from the top of it straight down. So there was no gap right there. Now, if that wasn't there, my hand where my clutch and stuff probably would have sailed right through it and nothing would have happened to me. It would just been an insanely close call.
Yeah.
But unluckily for me, there was that metal panel there. That guy was doing 55. I was doing 55. So my clutch lever smashed my hand at 110 miles an hour, basically.
Damn.
And then sliced off that left side of my bike and sent me flying, and stuff. But yeah, it was a trip because I saw the whole thing coming,
Yeah.
I saw how close I was to becoming a hood ornament on the front of that car.
Damn.
And stuff, and it was just crazy, Like I thought I took the crash pretty good, especially for being awake through the whole thing and knowing everything that was going on the whole time.
Yeah.
Like I had a bunch of hate comments, and all the pro motorcycle riders came in.
Well, everyone's pro in the comments.
yeah, everyone was perfect in the comments. I rode in hurricanes and all that. Yeah, So, I did my best to not let a lot of the hate people throw the hate at me and stuff.
Yeah.
But it gets to you after a while and everything. But I have my friends and everyone that was there that know that I'm a good rider and I don't do stupid stuff. And, I know part of it was my mistake too and everything. Cause I got the target fixation is basically what happened.
Yeah.
And stuff. And once you have that can happen to the best riders.
Yeah.
You get target fixated, you're done for.
I mean, you see that in MotoGP as well. Sometimes they fuck up.
Yeah, it happens
and you see them right off. Yeah.
Yeah, they're professionals. It happens to everybody, So, it was a combination of those few things and stuff like that. But, all in all, it made me a better rider at the end of the day. I learned a lot from that. And the main thing I learned is I don't go riding out on a windy day ever again. Not at all. I'm constantly checking the weather every day now. I don't like taking right-hand turns. I don't like taking right-hand turns, too much anymore.
I only turn left.
Only left turns and stuff, But it's not that bad. I definitely became a much better rider from that whole experience.
Well, here's actually one which I get a lot for my own channel, but I also like asking it. And what do you think is one of the biggest struggle of being a smaller channel on YouTube?
Let's see. The smaller channels. One of the struggle, well, because you're obviously competing with the bigger ones.
Yeah.
And stuff, but you also don't want to go and copy the same content the bigger people are doing. You want to be yourself.
Yeah.
And do your own original stuff. But it's hard, I think, for smaller people to find themselves or whatever on what they want to do. Like there's still times even now, I still consider my channel small, compared to others. I'm a small little blip still on the YouTube radar and everything. And I still trying to figure out what I want to do sometimes, and I think that's just mainly it, is just people want to aspire to be like the big channels and they want to try to do the same stuff, but you got to remember someone else is already doing that.
Yeah.
So you want to do original stuff, you don't want to be like the other people. But sometimes, there's things that other people do that are great things for you to make content too. Like there's some stuff that I do, like my buddy, Mr. V-Rod, he does like these daily observation videos and stuff. He's like the one I've seen that does them just like all the time,
Yeah.
religiously and stuff. I was like, that'd be great idea for stuff. So like I'll get ideas like that sometimes, but I still try to make them my own when I
Yeah.
do them. So like if you're going to use someone else's like content they do and do it yourself, just kind of try to make it your own. Don't copy them word
Yeah.
for word. Like don't try to do like what Walterific does
Yeah.
and his all those little meme faces and everything in there. Don't do that. I caught myself one time doing that on one of my videos a long time ago when I first started motovlogging.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, and then later on I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to be like this guy, because I would get people being like, oh, you're just trying to be like Walterific,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yep, nope, I don't want to do that. So
Shit.
I gotta do what I need to do. Got me.
Shit.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the only thing really is the struggle is really, as being a small town, is just trying to figure out really what you want to do and the content you want to bring for everybody to see, because there's all these factors that are involved, especially like smaller channels. One thing I would say for people starting out motovlogging is you're definitely going to have to invest in your equipment. You're going to need a good camera. You need a good mic. No one wants to look like you're filming through a potato or anything like that, or talking like you're underwater and stuff. People want crisp, clear audio and real good video footage and stuff like that. And at the same time, you got to kind of have that personality that people want to, watch your stuff. Like I know me, I don't know if people get me all the time and stuff, but it's like me, I think about all these things sometimes. I'm like, how could I do better? What could I do? I do a far range of things. So like, I think what people need to do is expand what they do. Like I do all kinds of green screen stuff that has nothing to do with motovlogging. I have a video of a T-Rex running behind me, coming at me and stuff. That was all green screen. I do stuff like that. I do all kinds of stuff because basically because it could be a motovlogging channel, but everyone expects to be just motorcycle everything. But me, it's my channel. I can put whatever I want on it, if I want to.
Yeah.
Stuff, but if anything, people just they just need to do their thing, figure out what they're wanting to do, and if you're wanting to try to make YouTube a career, you need to put everything into it. Like me, I just do it for fun on the weekends because I got a regular job. But if I was trying to make YouTube my main job, I'd be putting everything into it day in, day out. People, small channels and new people, don't rely on YouTube to pay the bills, and don't expect yourself to get super popular out of nowhere.
Yeah. There you go. Boom. Done. So a reoccurring thing that I'm trying to have on this podcast, I don't know if it's reoccurring, I'm trying to have it, is weird DMs that you got. So what are some of the weirdest things that people have like sent you? What's some really stuff that you're like, what is this, man?
So yeah, I'll get some weird stuff here and there. Let me look at my phone actually. I'll look at my Instagram stuff. One thing that was really funny the other day was I did this thing where I was like, hey, people ask me questions, right?
Yeah.
And I was doing that, and one of the questions was, someone was like, do you eat booty? And I was like, that's pretty weird for a guy to be asking that. And then I looked at their profiles, and then I did another reply, and I was like, wait, never mind, you're a chick.
Whoa, wait a second.
Now another one that was weird that I got the other day was some kid or somebody messaged me, and they were ranting about how they wanted to kill themselves and all kinds of stuff. I'm going to kill my dad. Well, I'm not sure. I might let him live, but definitely the mom.
Oh my
blah,
God.
and stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, no. So like usually that kind of stuff, I don't give them that attention for anyone. It's just how I am with people and saying stuff like that or whatever. I don't want no part in it.
Yeah.
And stuff, but at the same time, I know some people will be like, oh, try to, say things to them. I'm like, with me, when people do that, they're looking for attention. For certain reasons or whatever, but because if someone's going to do it, they're not going to message somebody and say, I'm thinking about doing it. They're going to go do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's like, even if, for example, I only have 1K subscriber, but even then, you get like a lot of people writing you stuff. And some people, when they write stuff, you're like, is this even real? Like, do they just want a reaction or
Yeah, they want something, and it's like, okay, But I get some weird stuff. Like I'll get a lot of people that'll send me stuff, thanking me for like my military service. But like as far as weird things, I don't get too much like
People just
weird
ask if you
stuff.
eat booty all the time.
Yeah, that's probably the weirdest one.
What do you think would be one of the biggest twists for your fans to learn about you? Like a hobby or something that you do that's like, oh my god, I can't believe he does that.
Oh man, you're gonna make me answer this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
dang. Okay, something that nobody knows about me, but I kind of hinted it on that story thing when I asked questions. Someone had asked me what's my favorite band
Yeah.
and song or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I grew up in the age of the boy bands and girl bands. Okay.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
so my favorite band growing up was the Spice Girls.
That's
Uh,
epic.
I actually, now this is weird. Okay. It's going to get a little crazy. So just bear with me. All right. So you know how girls like they get all crazy in sync stuff, right? Buying all the stuff and everything. Well, I kind of was like that. Me and my friend were like that with the Spice Girls. I had every
Oh yes.
CD. I had all of their posters. I had everything. I went to the concerts. I saved like when they had the lollipops that they came out with that had
Yeah.
their faces on them. We saved them. I had the dolls. I had everything. I had the movies. I had the CDs that were only released in the UK. All the
Oh
stuff.
my
I mean,
god.
it was freaking, it was bad. It was crazy. It was craziness. So that was one thing that I had going on. That was a hobby when I was a lot younger and stuff.
You're saying that now, but we all know
Yeah,
it's still going on.
it might be going on here and there. Yeah, she brought back some memories. So I went on YouTube the other day. I looked at some Spice Girl music videos and watched them
That's
just to
kind of
relive my
nice.
past a little bit. But
I like that.
uh,
That's kind of nice.
but as far as like any like stuff right now, there are a lot of people, they probably don't know that I was in the military.
Yeah.
Like I put it on my Instagram that I was and stuff, but there's a lot of people that don't know the stuff that I did, or like there's things I deal with, like like I have PTSD and stuff
Oh yeah.
from things I've done and had to do when I was in the
Mm.
military. That's a lot of stuff. Like I've had someone they asked me a question for like a video topic to do that I was going to do here soon. They wanted to know what it was like going to war
Oh
and
damn.
stuff. So that's a video I'll be coming out with here eventually
Mm.
and stuff. So I don't know how like in depth I'm going to go into stuff because it could get real long.
Yeah.
I did a lot of stuff when I was deployed over there in Iraq in 2004 and stuff.
Yeah.
And everything. So it could get into a lot of detail and gruesome things
Mm.
and stuff that I seen and did. But that's one thing a lot of people don't know. Like there's obviously everyone has a whole nother side to them too. You know,
Mm.
everyone that sees me, I'm usually happy go lucky, but no one sees the other side that happens. With other people sometimes.
Mm.
But yeah,
Once again, W. Danberg asking, would it be fun to play paintball while riding motorcycles, like wheelchair basketball?
I think that would be hella fun.
It sounds
I think
fun,
that'd be
man.
super fun. But the only thing is, if you're gonna do this, if you get shot up real good, you better make sure you're not on a motorcycle that you love a lot and you
No,
don't want to get beat up.
you gotta
You
get
know
a
what I'm
bad
saying? You better
motorcycle.
be on like a dirt bike where it
Yeah,
can fall down and take some beatings.
yeah,
But yeah, I think that would actually be pretty damn fun. I think
yeah.
it would be cool.
It sounds. You just gotta
It
get
sounds
you.
like a good time.
You gotta buy like a really broken down motorcycle that barely
Yeah,
works, and then you just gotta
yeah.
go at it.
It just needs to go. Yeah.
What does a day look like on Department of Corrections? What do you do?
For me, my job, what I do is I'm a supervisor for a rehabilitation program for the inmates, where we teach them janitorial skills at a hospital level,
Yeah.
and we get them certified with the state. It's a national recognized apprenticeship
Mm.
certificate that they get once they meet certain criteria that they get. But we teach them, how to clean at hospital level. So what I'm in charge of 25 inmates and 7 other regular staff members like myself. The day-to-day operations of cleaning all the medical facilities in the prison and stuff. So basically, that's what I do now.
Yeah.
At first, I was started at the lowest level. I would supervise inmates as they're cleaning the medical areas. Stripping, waxing floors, cleaning everything, cleaning up blood, all kinds of
Mm.
stuff. All those things
Damn.
that happen in prison. Just making sure the place is healthy and up to the standards that's in the contract and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically what I do now. I'm kind of like a desk jockey now. I sit down, I do a lot of like admin, like computer stuff, doing things,
Yeah.
you know, and everything. It's still a lot of work, but it's still easy work for me. Like the
Yeah.
job's been easy ever since. It pays really good it paid good for when I was just a regular supervisor for the inmates.
Yeah.
At the lowest level, that pay was really good for you. Literally stand around. You don't have to lift a finger except for bringing up the little iPad
Yes.
tablet and marking off inspections for what rooms you cleaned and
Yeah.
marking off some paperwork. Super easy, you know. So that was great. I think I was making take home was about 2,800 a month or
Yeah.
something like that after taxes and all that and everything. And I was like, cool, I do nothing and I get paid great, you know.
You're
So
sitting back.
now,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
just chilling. No, they do all the work. They make me look good, you know, when I was doing it. They're the ones doing everything.
Yeah.
So now being a supervisor and stuff, you know, obviously I make more money now and stuff, so it's good. But the work is still super easy for me because it's just easy. I don't like
Yeah.
my previous supervisor. I don't know how the job was hard for him. I just maybe it was just him. But this supervisor job I'm in is super easy. Like I know how to talk to people. I got good rapport with everybody around the place.
Yeah.
You know, officers and all that stuff to get things done and make sure everything gets taken care of and stuff. And you know, it's good. I got a good team too in my office. My two inmate clerks, they're really smart guys.
Yeah.
They've taught me a lot of stuff. They actually, because my supervisor was supposed to teach me everything when I took over,
But he didn't.
he didn't. He didn't train me. He didn't train me on how to do my job. My inmates did. My two clerks taught me how to do everything I needed to do, and I learned it fast. You know, and you
They
know,
told you never check under the pillows. We don't have stuff there.
yeah, but you know, I don't like because I work at a level 2 facility, so I don't have to worry about like there's none of those politics where guys are segregating themselves, blacks with stay with themselves and Mexicans, all that stuff. These guys, it's an integrated prison, so they're all together. And basically, the one I work at is kind of like a go home prison.
Yeah.
So a lot of people know when they come there that they're real short to going home and stuff. So they just want to get jobs, do what they got to do, earn some milestones, which is getting time off their sentence and stuff, and go home. You know. So, but I really like the job that I have right now.
Yeah.
I put a lot of work into it, make sure I do real good and stuff.
That sounds pretty nice, man.
But yeah, I see fights if that's what people are wanting to know. There's still fights that happen.
Immediately. I know you want to see the fight.
I see small little riots when I'm on other yards walking around. See, they bring new guys in that come from those other prisons where they have the politics, and they know when they come to this type of prison that it's not allowed. So they have like prison rules. They have like 3 days to get off the yard. If they came from a prison where it had the politics, like a GP prison, they have a certain amount of time to get off the yard before they get marked by the other guys where they came from. So fights will happen when new guys come on the yards and stuff sometimes, and then COs go up there and start spraying them with all the pepper spray and all that stuff, and then we usually got to clean it up after they bring them into the medical clinic. So I see a lot of that stuff, but you don't see no one getting shanked here at the one I work at. None of that stuff. That happens at the prison, the one that's next door to us, about a half a mile away. But yeah, the one I'm at, all the inmates are they're chill guys. Like they're not trying to cause no trouble. They're all respectful for the most part and stuff. But it's just weird. It's weird because when I first started working there, I'm like, oh man, I'm going to prison. This is going to be crazy. But then seeing how everything does, I'm like, you know what? This ain't that bad here. And I just visited my first level 4 prisons, like maximum security prisons, this past week.
Yeah.
When I was gone, when I was talking to you on Instagram, when I was gone for work, I was down a little more south of California, closer to the Mexico border, at a couple prisons there where they do all that shanking and all that stuff in the prison, segregation and stuff. And that was a little different, you know, checking that stuff out and everything too. So
you're like, I'm going back to my prison, man.
Yeah. When we got back, I was like, home sweet home. This is better. Hot Wheels wants to know what's my nickname to the inmates. I actually know my wife asked me that too because she works next door at the other prison. And she said that the inmates gave her a nickname. And she asked me, she's like, do your inmates have a nickname for you? I was like, if they do, I've never heard it. So I don't know if I have one actually. You know?
They have one in secret. Maybe they call you cutie.
I have no clue.
Here's one I'm actually really interested. What is one of the most common questions that you get from subscribers, followers on Instagram, or just random people that know what you do on your spare time?
Let's see. Most of the time, like if people on Instagram, they just want to like, can I be your friend and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's a
Or
classic.
they'll just ask general questions like, what's a good bike to start on, things like that. You know, just general stuff like that.
The classics.
Yeah, the classic stuff
Yeah.
that you get all the time. But what was the other part of your question?
No, it was just from either if you subscribers, Instagram followers, or just like random people or maybe family members and stuff that just knows like, oh, you're CruzinMoto.
Oh, you know what? One that happened recently. It's always cool, like when like younger kids they recognize me or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're at my job's Christmas party and stuff, right? So we're sitting there eating, and one of the other supervisors from one of the other departments, she had her son there,
Yeah.
and he's sitting right across from me, and he's just sitting there, he's staring at me, and I'm like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, doing all right," and then he's looking at his mom, and he has his phone, and he's showing her his phone to her, like, and he's like, "You work with this guy?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Is that him?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's him." And he goes, "Oh my god!" And he looks at me, he goes, "You're CruzinMoto?" I go, "Yeah, man, what's up?" He's like, "I watch your videos." I was like, "Well, thank you,"
Oh
and
shit, man.
and then I have stuff like that'll happen
Yeah.
sometimes, or we'll be in the grocery store, and people be like, "Oh, you're CruzinMoto," and my wife's like, "Oh my god, here we go again,"
Oh
every time.
no.
I was like, "It's cool though." I was like, "It's kind of neat when people are like, hey, what's up?" They recognize you. It's neat.
Yeah.
But as far as like stuff like through DMs and stuff, I just usually just get the general stuff. I got this one girl recently. Let me see if I find her thing on here. It's like a fan page. At first I thought it was the real page, but I didn't think so.
You have a fan page?
So there's this girl in the UK. I guess her name's Bella Delphine or something like that. She always shows herself
She
like,
sold
like
her
the
bathwater.
anime chick or whatever.
Yeah.
She does all that stuff, like showing off all of her goodies and everything, right?
Yeah.
So that chick had started following me, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool, right on. And I was like, she's pretty hot, And so this chick started hitting me up, and she's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, oh, okay. And all of a sudden, her very first message was, I wish I could ride with you. And then she's all, hello. She's like, I got 4 question. I'm like, oh boy, she's just bam, 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 And then she was telling me she rides a Grom and stuff, and I'm like, okay. And I was like, she's wanted to know if she wanted to be like Grommy Bear or Fooligan and stuff like that and stuff. And she's like, do you got YouTube? I'm like, yeah, it's on my Instagram if you look at it, and stuff. And she's just asking me some general questions about motorcycles and stuff, like what's a good starter bike and what would I recommend and everything like that. And then she kind of got into saying, can we be friends? I'm like, sure, I guess we can be friends. I'm here. I was like,
sure, man.
I'll follow you back, no problem. But I even asked her, I was like, are you the real person for this, or is it just a fan page?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, it's just a fan page. She's like, I just like her stuff. I'm like, okay, because you never know.
Yeah.
And stuff. I was like, this obviously couldn't be the real person, because I was like, I've seen like 7 other profiles on Instagram of this person.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I just had to ask and and stuff like that. But she keeps hitting me up like every day this whole week ever since I was like, yeah, sure, I'll follow you back. So she's kind of being a little stalker, but it's whatever. That's no big deal. I don't mind. That's cool.
So she's been stalking me. I've seen her outside my window. So, just a little stalky. There's nothing about it. If you had the opportunity to get one bike for free, which one would you choose? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I would love to have a Honda Grom. I would actually love to have one of those little things. That'd be super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got the street bike I want. I got a dirt bike.
Yeah.
I would like a better dirt bike. I'd actually wish I didn't get a Honda and I should have got a Yamaha. Yeah. But because I broke my own rule of steering away from Yamaha stuff. I got my first Honda thing and it freaking broke on me.
God damn it.
But yeah, I would love to have a Honda Grom. Like I got my buddies over there at Ride Clutch that are doing a Grom giveaway every month now on top.
Yeah, you know,
of whatever
can I
bike
win
they're
one?
doing. You know?
Please.
So I told them, I've been doing a lot of stuff with them guys lately. Like we even got a motorcycle event coming up in
Yeah.
March over in Scottsdale with Mason, with Mass Face and everything.
Yeah.
So it's three of us, and then there's potentially another YouTuber, Grommy Bear, might be coming
Yeah.
too, but Maceface hasn't gotten any information too much back from him yet. But the three of us, we're working a lot together with just doing some event stuff and everything like that, trying to do some more stuff together and everything. And at the same time, I was like, it'd be so weird, like people know that I'm sharing your guys' stuff, doing events with you guys, and it'd be people. I don't want people to think like if I win one of the bikes or whatever,
Oh, yeah, it's rigged.
they'd be like, oh, it's rigged. And I'm like, well, I guarantee it's not rigged because I've been trying the last like 7 bikes. I've spent thousands of dollars on merch, to enter in these things. I still haven't won, and I'm hanging out with these dudes. So I was like, it's definitely not going to be rigged. They're not going to put themselves in that spot, So I'm just really hoping that eventually I can win one of the ROMs, I'll keep trying. I'll buy a little bit here and there and stuff.
What is one of the most stupid thing you've ever done?
Oh boy.
Where to begin?
Yeah, I've done quite a few things. Not like any time within like the last 15 years or so, but I'd say when I was younger, probably some of the stupid things I've done. Oh boy. I don't know if it was more like considered stupid, but because it was hella fun when me and my friends did it. When I lived in Washington, lots of woods and everything around all over the place. We'd go walking through the woods, just having fun. We always played out in the woods all the time and stuff. That was basically our backyard. And we'd go around and we'd find these big, huge trees that are like leaned over, like they've fallen, but they're caught on other trees.
Oh, yeah.
We'd climb up these things. Like 4 of us would climb up the trunk of this tree and ride them down to the ground.
Damn.
Once they start kind of broke free from branches. But now mind you, there was like these super thick, fluffy bushes that were like 6 feet tall below us.
All right.
So when we came down, it wasn't all that bad, but we would do that. That was probably something real stupid to do because you never know what could happen and stuff. Because we had ones too where some of us were up there and the bottom part of it broke and the top part stayed up in the trees. And then my other buddies are falling down and we're stuck up in the tree now.
Shit.
We've had stuff like that and everything. And so I would say, that was probably something stupid I've done. There's lots of other stupid things I've done, but I don't want to share those things
I could go to prison for those.
on live things, But yeah. That was probably one of the dumbest things, but it was super fun.
Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
It was very nice. I didn't even know you wanted to be on until Maceface wrote, like, he's still waiting. And I was like, what?
Yeah, because Mason, after he did the one with you, he was like, hey, Brian, he's like, just want to let you know I did a podcast with so-and-so, and he's like, you should do one with them too. I was like, cool, man, yeah, just let him know. He's like, yeah, here you go. Then he asked me, he's like, hey, has he done it with you? I go, no.
He's like, what?
Oh.
Shit.
So Mason got after you.
Yeah, I think, let me see. I think I did, because I did one with myself as a funny thing, because I thought
you did one with yourself.
Yeah, it was really complicated to record, and I think he was like, bro, CruzinMoto is waiting for his interview. And I'm out here interviewing myself.
Right.
Wait, someone's waiting?
You're like, oh, all right.
Oh, yeah, fuck yeah. So before we
awesome.
end, do you have any questions for yourself that you felt were left out, or do you have any questions for me?
How long have you been doing this for?
That's a good question. My channel is older than I've actually been doing it for, because I had an idea of being a gamer in the beginning. But it didn't work out because I sucked at it. Let's see here.
Yeah, you can't be a game streamer unless you're good at games.
Yeah,
unless you want to be the first one to do this. Be a streamer that is just the crappiest ever, and you just put crap videos all the time.
Everything's just shit, but people are like,
everything's just crap.
He's kind of good at making just bad stuff.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Let's see.
It might work.
I've been doing it since since May, so I've been doing it for around that's 9 months, I think.
So 9 months doing the podcast interview thing.
Oh, the podcast is that's way newer.
Oh,
Because
okay.
no one wanted to do it. When I asked it, I didn't get any response. But for some reason, Walter Riffik was like, "Yeah." So that was 3 months ago. I started the interview series.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's usually usually I just end my recording here, but we're live, so I don't
We're
know.
live, right? Yeah.
I don't know what to do now.
You got an outro?
No, it just ends.
Oh, you don't have an outro. Okay, see now, what if someone else wants to do a live one with you again? Because that's a possibility after they see this.
Hold on.
You gotta figure something out, man.
Give me 2 hours. I just leave.